Okay, here we are on gameplay, and we're going to show you the key points of this game and how it operates. We're not going to go a whole playthrough, but I'm going to start off my turn. You also look at your cards and read what you got, and don't show your other people. The cards on them have little different ways of operating. Like this one is a 0, but when it gets played, you roll your d10 and there's a 1 through 4 you get +2, so it enhances your rolls or de-hances your rolls, if that's a word. Negative cards you play on your opponent, and then you read. And then there's cards that are positive. You're going to want to play that on yourself when you're trying to beat a number. And then there's some cards that are plus and then negative, or negative and plus for special teams. So you have to read those, and like this one has the same. So that's the type of cards you're going to have.
Yeah, and then like for one of the examples, like this one's restraining order, and it's +1 for any normal team, but if you play it against an opponent that has the Rednecks, which is the team that Anna has, the Speed Billies, it'll actually do negative instead of positive for that team. And the cards are not blank because they're still in production on the artwork for these. So that's why those are blank. They're not blank because of any certain reason.
They're working on the art, so
yeah, like this one, it's completed. And it's got Walker on the track.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. They can take all the time they want to because what they're doing is really good, I think, with the art. It's a lot of fun to watch a game develop, like we've watched Thrash Car come. So anyway, so each turn you get 4 actions, and you mark that here by your little joystick. It actually ends up, it's kind of cool. You put your car, start in neutral, then you go to 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like you'd be driving a
manual transmission
that I don't know how to drive. I know the concept, I just can't get the footwork right. Let's see if I can get it on this game though. So for one action, I'm gonna try and move on my action. Oh, great, we had one of the empty ones. Okay, so this card right here, it shows you that it's a handling, and the target is 5, and if I don't make this goal of target, I will take 5 damage.
And she took this off the track because it's a blank one. It's one of those that we could have filled out ourselves and changed the game a little bit. We haven't done anything with these, but that's why she took it off the track, so if you were wondering.
So handling on each one of our cards, well actually, I'm going to get one of the other race teams out here to show you. On your cards for handling, you have all these points right here. And those tell you what your plus is when you're trying to, I just call it make a check because I've been playing so much Pathfinder. But we want to hit the number 5. So the first thing that we're going to do is the top card from the action deck goes face down right here. Tim and all other players get to play a card against me. And then I would normally get to play 2 cards, but since we're playing 2-player here, I only pick 1 card. So I get to play 1 card for myself. And then you take your cards and you shuffle them so you don't know who gave you what, or what's in the top card of the deck. Then I flip them over. And then we do the math. So this one is a +1 fundraiser for trading paint, or a movement roll. It's -2 for soccer moms, but I'm not a soccer mom, so it's +1 for me. And here's a -2 for a pothole. I'm pretty sure Tim played that one. And it's subtract 2 from so I'm -1 right now. And then I gave myself moonshine additive, So I'm going to roll my d10 first, and it's a 2. 1 through 4 is plus 2. So I'm -1 plus 2 is +1. And then my handling over here is plus 2. So I'm already at a 3. And I go to roll, and it's a 4. So I made 7. I get to move my car.
And I was thinking, it's kind of hard to figure out why you would want to give someone a positive card. But if you give someone a positive card and there's an opponent ahead of you that everyone needs to knock back, then you would help somebody else go forward to do a trade paint, which will show you that, I'm sure, at some point in this, to knock them out of the race. Is how I would use it if I was going to give a plus to anyone. I would only use it to my advantage to knock someone else out of the race.
Okay. And then you get 4 actions. So I'm going to expend another action trying to go again. And this one right here is another empty card. I swore we took those out. Okay. Now this is an acceleration. My acceleration is a +2 on my board. And then we have the top card.
And then I'll give you guys a little preview of what I gave her before she even knows. Because she is the Speed Billies, which are the rednecks.
Okay, so then I add mine. New wife, new truck, new dog. +3 for rednecks. I guess that's probably not the one you gave me, is it? This one's entrance exam. Wow, I can read today. It's a -3, so I am now at 0 because those negate each other. And bad hair day is a +2. It's -3 for soccer moms. But so I'm +2, and my acceleration is +2. So I'm already at a 4. And this one's a 4. But you're still gonna roll your dice because a 1 is an automatic fail. A 10 is an automatic success. So I could still fail this thing. I got an 8, so I move forward. And then I'm gonna move my joystick to the 3. I'm gonna go. And this is suspension. And I take a card from the top. I guess I don't have a choice in that round. And my suspension is a +1 automatically.
I guess I'd give you.
Okay. And I'm trying to make a 4. I gave myself the +4 supercharged, and this cancels any negative card played against me. And then it says it does not apply to damage dealing cards, which, what do you know? I got a walker on the track. It takes 5 damage. Apply this card before any others. So I take 5. And then, so I'm +4. +1 is 1. Now I still roll the dice. I got a 5, so I make it. And I get to move forward. And then I can show you, I can go in here to the pits. And then I get to use an action to give 10 durability back to myself. You can buy durability in the pits. And you can spend 1 action for 10. And then I actually have baling wire and duct tape, no action cost. Owner can gain 10 points of health and no action cost in the pits. So I'm going to give myself, and you cannot go past 50. But my understanding is you can go higher than what you started. So that didn't cost an action. And then I'm going to take my next action, but we're not going to show you that because we're not going to do a full gameplay. Now we showed you that, so we need to show you. Oh, so since I use this button right here, the once per race, I'm going to put that on there so I know I cannot use it anymore. And now we can show you trading paint. So if you are at the same spot as another person, say Tim and I are both here, and I'm coming up behind him to pass him, I get to choose to trade paint for him, with him. And say, we both have 7 cards. Get your cards back. When you trade paint, each one of us chooses a card that we want to play. We can play one against them, or we can play one for us. And then there are some that are dual. When they're dual cards, you can play in both aspects of play. Okay. And you don't show a card. And then we both roll before we reveal the cards. 5. And he has a 7. Now, you have trading paint too. You have a
skill.
That's a good word. So I have 8 as it stands. Tim has 9 as it stands. So now we're going to flip over our cards. And did you give one to enhance yourself, or? Yeah. Okay. Well, I did one against you. So you got prevent 5 points of direct damage. This card resolves it. Okay. Well, you need to roll a d10. 6. Take 2 damage. So he doesn't take the damage because of that. So now we're going strictly on rolls. He has a 9. I have an 8, right?
Yeah, so you would take 1d.
So I am going to take a 1d. And there's a trading paint table here that'll tell you what it is. A 1d, a d10. What am I talking about? And I got 2. So 2 is losing driver takes 4 points of damage. Oh, that's not what happens. I am so sorry. I messed up. We take the difference between our rolls.
That's what it
which
said.
would be
You
1.
took 1.
Which is 1. I rolled the dice. I don't know what I'm talking about. We take the difference between the 2. And then that's what happens. So it's 1. So I take 4 points of damage. So I'm now at 41. And that's how you trade paint. Also, when you make a lap around, after each lap, you're gonna take this one and move it around. You determine between 3 and 5 laps how many you're doing. And there's 2 different boards. The smaller one is for a shorter game, the larger one's for a longer game. They estimated, I think, 30 minutes to an hour for this one, and an hour to an hour and a half, I believe, or so. And I can definitely see how that one would take long. Yeah, an hour to an hour and a half. And then this one has the pits. This one does not. And then the NOS button, if Tim were coming up, or I was coming up behind Tim, and he wanted to, I had 2 actions. You have to have at least 1 action. The opponent has to have at least 1 action. But if I'm going and come up behind Tim, and I have, say, 2 actions, he can make me lose an action and spend it on trading paint with him. So I would be forced to stop and trade paint with him. And then if I had another action, I could continue to move. But if that was my last action, I wouldn't be able to move anymore.
Yeah, and basically what that's doing is it's causing the driver up front to do a block maneuver to the driver in the back, and then they end up getting into each other and trading a little bit of paint. And then so you would just do the trade paint aspect of that, and then it was resolve after that. And then if the character that you played the NOS against still has one more action to go, they can go ahead and use that last action and proceed with gameplay as normal.
To win, you have to be the first person to pass the start line. So you have to make this last check to pass it. And then also, your once per race, you can only use those once per race. Your NOS button, you only get to use it once per race. And then these are once per lap. So when you use them in a lap, you flip them over. And then once you pass the start finish line, that lap, you flip them back and you can use them again. Which is kind of cool that you get these random bonuses throughout the game.
Alright, well now that we've shown you everything on how to play and setups, we're going to go ahead and go to the conclusion and give you our thoughts on this pre-Kickstarter of Thrash Car.
Style and her daddy's eyes. She just wanna laugh like a little girl.